Let me ask you something. Have you ever given your best, your heart, your loyalty only to be betrayed? It doesn't make sense, right? You do everything right. You level up. You become the man, yet you're the one who ends up hurt. But what if I told you that it's not a weakness? What if that pain was proof of your power? You ever wonder why the strongest men, the ones who've got it all together, end up in the most toxic relationships? I'm talking about the man who built himself from scratch. The man who wakes up before sunrise, who's fought through hell, who's turned his pain into power, who doesn't need validation. He is the validation. And still, he finds himself betrayed, lied to, played like he didn't matter. Why? Because you attract what you tolerate. Let that sink in. Not what you want. Not what you dream about. What you tolerate. You could have a king's mindset, but if you allow peasant behavior into your life, it'll poison your kingdom. You can be dripping in value, but if you make space for disrespect, betrayal, manipulation, that's what will grow. Not because you deserve it, but because you didn't cut it off when it showed up wearing a mask. See, high-value men, we've got a soft spot. We see people for who they could be, not who they're actually showing up as. We think maybe she's just going through something. Maybe if I love her a little harder, she'll see my worth. Let me stop you right there. You're not in her life to fix her wounds. You're not her therapist. You're not her redemption arc. You're the reward. And if she can't treat you like one, she doesn't deserve access to you. Here's the truth that'll set you free. Every time you allow disrespect to slide, you're sending a message, this is okay. Even in silence, you're teaching people how to treat you. Even in patience, you're permitting pain. You want loyalty? Set a standard. You want peace? Stop entertaining chaos. You want something real? Then stop tolerating fake. Let me make it simple for you. Your time, your energy, your love, it's sacred. The minute someone shows you they're playing games, you walk. Not out of hate, out of self-respect. You're not arrogant for having standards. You're not too much for expecting loyalty. You're just done shrinking to fit places that were never built to hold a man like you. And when you stop tolerating less, you'll start attracting more. Better people, deeper connections, real loyalty. Because the moment you stop trying to fix broken glass is the moment you start building with bricks. And that's how high-value men protect their kingdom, by never again negotiating their worth. Imagine this. You've spent years building yourself up, stacking victories, mastering your craft. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're that guy everyone respects, the one with the drive, the discipline, the ambition. You have everything you could ever want except one thing: loyalty. And here's the harsh truth: you attract what you tolerate. I know, it stings. But think about it. How many times have you seen the red flags and ignored them? How many times did you give someone a second chance, even though deep down you knew they weren't worthy of it? You see, high-value men have a tendency to want to fix things. We want to see the best in people. We want to believe in their potential. We believe that with enough effort, enough love, enough support, we can change them. But here's the reality you need to face. You can't save someone who's not willing to save themselves. You don't need to be a fixer. You need to be a chooser of your time, a chooser of your energy, a chooser of who gets access to the best parts of you. The moment you tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or manipulation, you're not just letting them get away with it. You're telling the universe, this is as good as it gets. And that, my friend, is where you go wrong. The moment you stop tolerating bad behavior is the moment your life changes. The moment you stop accepting excuses for toxic behavior is when you start building a future where your peace is non-negotiable. You've worked too damn hard to let anyone walk over you. You've sacrificed. You've stayed up late. You've hustled. You've faced rejection. You've fought through doubt. You've fought for your goals. You've earned your success. And now, someone who doesn't value that is walking through your door and stealing your peace? Not anymore. The difference between high-value men who get burned and those who don't is simple. It's about boundaries. It's about knowing exactly where you draw the line and making it crystal clear that anyone who crosses it will be gone. That doesn't mean you're cold. It doesn't mean you're unapproachable. It means you've learned your worth, and you'll never again tolerate someone who tries to take from you without giving back. Let me tell you something, you can't love someone enough to fix them. You can't work harder to make them value you. You can't beg them to stay when their heart is already elsewhere. You know what you can do. You can love yourself enough to walk away. You can love yourself enough to say no more. You can love yourself enough to say, I deserve loyalty. I deserve respect. I deserve a love that doesn't come with strings, lies, or manipulation. And when you do that, when you finally put yourself first, that's when you attract what you've been missing. Not the broken version of someone who needs saving, but the strong, the loyal, the honest. And the best part, you don't have to chase it. When you set that boundary, when you demand respect, you'll watch real loyalty walk right into your life. You don't have to tolerate less anymore. You are worth so much more than that. Let's talk about something critical, boundaries. We hear it all the time, but how many of us truly understand what it means to set them and, more importantly, to enforce them? You're a high-value man. You've put in the work, the sacrifices, the long hours. You've built yourself up, not just in business, but in mindset, strength, and character. But here's the catch. None of that matters if you don't protect your peace. The most powerful men I know don't let just anyone into their world. They don't let anyone take what they've worked so hard to build. It's not about arrogance, it's about clarity. They know who they are, what they bring to the table, and what they expect in return. If you're not on that level, you're not getting in. You've heard the phrase, don't tolerate the things you wouldn't accept in your own life, but let me break it down. True power isn't in saying no when things are easy. It's in saying no when you want something badly, but know it's not good for you. You want to know the secret to high value? It's not your bank account. It's not your physique. It's not how many followers you have. It's your standards. The man who sets high standards doesn't tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or dishonesty. He knows the value of his time, his energy, and his heart. And when you respect your own value, you stop letting people cross the line. You stop entertaining chaos. You stop letting people test your patience. You draw the line and you stand firm. But here's the thing, too many high-value men have this misconception that being nice means they should let things slide. They don't want to be seen as cold or unapproachable, so they give a little more than they should. They let their guard down. They say yes when they should say no. And this is where it all falls apart. Let me tell you, nice doesn't get you loyalty. Nice doesn't get you respect. Nice doesn't get you the results you deserve. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. So when that person comes around, testing your patience, pushing your limits, treating you like an option instead of a priority, This is your moment. The moment you say, enough is enough. The moment you set the boundary. And here's what happens when you do. You start commanding respect from everyone around you. The people who really matter, who are aligned with your vision and values, will rise to the occasion. They'll honor you. They'll match your energy. They'll show up for you because you've shown up for yourself first. But the ones who don't respect your boundaries, they'll leave. And that's okay. Because in that space of emptiness, you create room for the people who truly value what you bring to the table. You create room for the type of relationships, business partnerships, and connections that make you unstoppable. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors. And when you start setting them, you'll watch the right people step through while everyone else fades into the background. That's the true power of a high-value man, not just his ability to achieve, but his ability to protect his peace, his energy, and his future. Here's something that needs to be said. Your value is independent of how others choose to treat you. I know this might sound counterintuitive, especially when you're on top of your game and putting everything into your relationships, your career, your growth. You give your all, and yet people still let you down. They cheat, lie, and betray you. And in those moments, it can feel like your worth is being questioned, like all that you've worked for somehow gets overshadowed by someone else's actions. But here's the truth: you are not defined by someone else's choices. Let me ask you, how many times have you looked at a situation where you were betrayed and thought, what did I do wrong? The truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You trusted, you loved, you gave. And for that, you should be proud. But don't let someone else's lack of integrity make you question your worth. High-value men often fall into the trap of letting someone else's actions determine how they see themselves. When you get cheated on or betrayed, it's easy to spiral into that narrative. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I didn't give enough. No, my friend, you are always enough. The truth is, betrayal says more about the person who did it than about you. It says they weren't ready for your loyalty. It says they couldn't handle the greatness you brought to the table. And that's not your problem. It's theirs. Now let me share a powerful shift with you. Your value is constant whether someone sees it or not, whether they honor it or break it, whether they stay or leave. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not defined by the actions of others, but by your ability to keep showing up, regardless of who stands by your side. You could lose everything and still be the same person. You could be betrayed, hurt, and tested, and still stand tall, knowing that no one can take away what's inside of you. It's your mindset. It's your hustle. It's your vision. It's who you are at your core. And that will never change. So when someone betrays you, when they walk away, don't let it steal your power. Turn that betrayal into a breakthrough. What if instead of shrinking back, you use that pain as fuel? What if that heartbreak became the catalyst for your next level? High-value men understand that betrayal doesn't break them, it elevates them. They turn pain into purpose, and in doing so, they become untouchable. They rise stronger. They rise smarter. And they never, ever allow someone else's actions to define their path forward. Betrayal isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you learn, grow, and evolve. And most importantly, you learn to never again settle for less than what you deserve. So when life tests you, when the world gives you pain, when someone else's actions try to shake your foundation, you stand strong. Because your value is non-negotiable. You are the author of your own story, And nothing and no one can take away the truth of who you are. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been hit with a betrayal so deep that it feels like the ground beneath you has just crumbled away? You thought you had it all figured out. You thought you had the right people in your corner, but suddenly you're standing there alone, betrayed, hurt, and you have two choices. Let it break you or let it make you. Here's the truth: betrayal doesn't have to break you. It can be your breakthrough. You've already proven you can withstand pain. You've already shown the world that you have the resilience to bounce back no matter what life throws your way. But this moment, this betrayal, it's not the end of the road. It's a test, a challenge that will reveal the depth of your character and your power. The man who rises from the ashes is far stronger than the one who never had to burn. So let's get real for a second. You're a high-value man. You don't fall apart. You don't let a single betrayal take away your sense of self-worth. When life knocks you down, you don't sit in the rubble and wallow in self-pity. You rise. You turn that pain into purpose. Think about it. Some of the most powerful moments in your life came from situations where you thought you couldn't go on. You've been knocked down before. You faced rejection, loss, challenges, and guess what? You're still here. That's the strength of a high-value man. When the world tries to break you, you use it as fuel to come back even stronger. This is what separates the men who stay stuck from the men who break through: your ability to turn your pain into power. Every setback you face, every betrayal that tries to tear you apart, it's an opportunity to level up, to refine yourself, to evolve into the best version of you. Let's be clear. No one gets to take away your power. They might take a part of you. They might break your heart for a while, but they don't take your strength. That's yours to own. Here's what high-value men know. Pain is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. So you take that heartbreak, that disappointment, and you don't let it define you. Instead, you make it your driving force. You turn it into a lesson on what to avoid, who to trust, and how to grow. You don't allow betrayal to be the end of your story. You make it the beginning of your next chapter 1 where you're unstoppable. And let me remind you, when you come out on the other side of this, when you turn betrayal into breakthrough, you're not just stronger. You're smarter. You're wiser. You're untouchable. You've learned to trust yourself, to recognize your worth, and to build your future with no one but the strongest people by your side. So next time life hits you with a betrayal, remember this: you are not a victim. You are the victor. And with that power, you'll rise higher than you ever imagined. You'll look back at the pain and smile, because you'll know that it was never about what they did to you. It was about how you used it to become the best version of yourself. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Betrayal doesn't define you, it refines you. Every setback, every heartbreak, every time someone tries to take advantage of your loyalty, you have the power to choose how you respond. You don't have to let their actions break you down. Instead, let them fuel your fire. Remember, high-value men don't just survive, they rise stronger, smarter, and more powerful than ever before. They don't let betrayal steal their peace. They turn it into a stepping stone toward greatness. You are the author of your own story. Your value is non-negotiable. Your standards are your strength, and your power lies in your ability to bounce back with even more determination. So, next time life hits you with the unexpected, when someone betrays your trust, don't crumble. Stand tall. Take that pain and turn it into your breakthrough. Because the truth is, the higher you go, the more you'll face challenges. But the man who knows his worth will always rise above. And you are that man. Now go out there, own your power, and show the world what happens when you stop tolerating less and start demanding more. Your best chapters are still ahead of you. Keep moving forward, unshaken, unstoppable, because you are untouchable.